Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome our guest of honor, Ms. Grace Fu, Minister for Sustainability and the Environment. Very good evening to our guest of honor, Ms. Grace Fu, Minister for Sustainability and the Environment. Mr. Khoo Xiao Po, Senior Advisor, National Environment Agency. Mr. Ng Chun Pin, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Planning, Corporate and Technology, National Environment Agency. Professor Liu Tan, BBM PPAE, PBM Professional Fellow, Lee Kong Chian National History Museum, and Chairman of the 14th Ecofriend Awards Evaluation Panel. Members of the 14th Ecofriend Awards Evaluation Panel, distinguished guests, friends watching at home on Facebook Live, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. Welcome to the 14th Ecofriend Awards ceremony. My name is Lester Liu. It's my pleasure to be the MC for this wonderful event today. The Ecofriend Awards was launched in 2007 by the National Environment Agency to recognize and honor individuals who have volunteered their personal time and effort to actively contribute to the protection, promotion, and enhancement of Singapore's clean and green environment. Today's ceremony marks the 14th year of this award, and to date, we have recognized 137 individuals for their environmental efforts, with 10 more receiving their awards today. So who are these 10 outstanding individuals? Let us now get to know a little bit more about them. Please feast your eyes on the screen and enjoy this video.
There is a Native American saying that goes, "We do not inherit Earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children." That really resonates with me, to use what we have on Earth responsibly and not abusing the resources that is given to them. Waste management is not glamorous, it gains no recognition, it's a lot of hard work, but it is necessary.
Growing up, I used to wonder, where does all trash go? Just because it is out of sight does not mean it has disappeared. Instead, it has ended up somewhere else. Students have a sense of the environment and climate change. They have many ideas, but they do not know where to and how to start. My role as a teacher is to help them push ahead with action.
On one hand, I see people with a buy, use and throw mentality. On the other hand, I see many low-income families with very little. Something could certainly be done to rechannel these resources properly and to reduce wastage. I thought of using technology to close this gap and to benefit the community. So back in 2018, I started Share Things, a mobile application for people to give away perfectly usable pre-loved items to those who need more.
So in the course of our lives, we unfortunately do generate quite a lot of waste. So while the additional plastic bag or straw do matter, what's more important to me is actually how we review our actions and behaviors. The environment actually doesn't have a face to it, so when it suffers, it's actually not very obvious. And when I realized this, it really got me thinking about how can we make large-scale events more sustainable. And that's why I created Green Nudge, where we work with communities, companies, including event organizers, to try and make events a lot more sustainable and proactively reduce waste before they're even generated.
Recycling is not a very popular topic. It's hard to get people to change their lifestyles and start recycling. And if we want to achieve our target of 30%, we've got to infiltrate lives. Start small. Toilet rolls are one of the easiest to recycle, made up of only one material. So in Secondary 4, I set out to collect and recycle 1,000 kg of toilet rolls. It seemed very daunting at first, but I'm happy to say that we are really close to achieving that goal now.
Climate change is a topic that can be overwhelming. We need to break it down into smaller parts and make it applicable to the community. Through helping each other out as a community, we bring in topics like energy conservation, reducing wastage, and the building of green spaces around us. It all comes back to a value system of treasuring what you have, the lifestyle you are living, and the impact it has on our future generations.
I believe that climate change is the single greatest issue that my generation is going to face. We're good at responding to immediate dangers, but we're not so good at thinking about long-term issues like climate change. When I was 14, I proposed the installation of solar panels on my school's rooftops to reduce our carbon footprint. Since then, working with a team of passionate students and my school's facilities office, we've installed 180 solar panels, but we hope to do a whole lot more.
Global warming is an existential threat. The critical question is, why aren't we all giving it our best shot? Now, there's an urgent need to create more platforms for youth to come on board. After all, it is their future. Youth forums get people talking about their ideas, which encourage the growth of small projects. With enough of these small grown-up initiatives, that is when things will start to change.
Travelling around the world for the past 25 years, seeing the effects of humans on the environment, I decided to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. In 2010, I embarked on a journey, together with the team in the hotel, to make our food sources more sustainable. It's a mindset of how we craft our menus to ensure that food waste is reduced and that we do not order any excess of what we actually need. Our guests are really appreciative of what we put on their plates.
Studying geography empowers me with enough knowledge about the Earth to let me understand that climate change is really not just about the planet. It's about us surviving as a human race. In 2018 and 19, I conducted a training workshop for climate change negotiations for youth, to provoke and challenge them, to raise questions, so that they can take action and do something about it.
We can be kind to other human beings. We can even be kind to animals. So why can't we be kind to the environment?
We all have a personal responsibility to protect our shared environment, because climate change does not discriminate. It will affect all of us.
Now there's some level of awareness. Next challenge to me is how do we get people to move from being just aware to being willing to take action.
Technology has the power to create big impact on environmental issues, and we could definitely do with more digital initiatives and innovation to unlock a huge potential within the community for recycling and donation drives.
People really need to believe in the cause. They must understand that no action is too small.
To many people, I may just be a student, but the large amount of support I've garnered over the years has kept me going. And once you set your mind on it, anything is possible.
As long as the sun remains burning, the Earth will continue to live. By doing something about climate change, it is actually not saving the planet, we are saving ourselves.
If you face any objections or resistance, just remember this. We're doing this for the love of the community and humanity as we know it and how we would like it to be.
Finding sustainable solutions may be harder in the beginning, but in the long term, when you find the solutions, you will create more success.
Be patient, creative, persevere. Things don't change overnight, but the fruits of labor will come.
Once again, big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. These are truly 10 inspiring individuals, and we can all learn from their experiences. They show us that we can all do our part in different ways to care for the environment and to make Singapore clean, green, and sustainable. It now gives me great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to invite our guest of honor, Ms. Grace Fu, Minister for Sustainability and the Environment, on stage for her address. Minister, please.
It's an amazing group of people here. So inspiring, and I'm so glad that MSE and NEA has such a great bunch of allies in our journey towards sustainability. I'm so inspired and so encouraged now. Professor Leo Tan, Chairman of 14th Ecofriend Awards Evaluation Panel, panel members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me in this very meaningful award ceremony. And I would like to thank Prof. Leo and the panel for really, going out and doing this important job of selecting the winners. I'm sure it has not been easy. I'm sure they have plowed through many, many nominations, but wow, to find gems amongst Singaporeans. And I'm sure we have not uncovered every one, and I'm sure there are many more deserving ones, deserving eco-friends out there. So I'd just like to encourage everyone, winners today as well as winners tomorrow, to continue what you do so that we really can look forward to a much better environment and much better planet for all of us. Since 2007, the Ecofriend Awards have recognized many individuals who have made outstanding contributions towards sustainability and the environment. Despite the challenges in 2020 due to COVID-19, the National Environment Agency, or NEA, received nominations for 160 individuals, of which 90% were first-time nominees. I'm encouraged to see more environment champions coming forth, especially during these trying times. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to unprecedented changes in our lives, and this new normal is set to be our reality for the foreseeable future. On the bright side, the pandemic has resulted in global carbon emissions falling, and for all of us, the opportunity to witness blue sky, clear sky, and green grass growing amongst our neighborhood. It's really a good time for reflection. I'm sure many of us here, as well as those online, would remember those days during the circuit breaker when the only thing that we could do was to walk around the neighborhood for, exercise, and really a quiet time for us to reflect and to appreciate the physical environment around us. And so the pandemic does has its silver linings. It makes us appreciate the physical environment a lot more, and I'm sure many of us have renewed vows to do more for the environment. Perhaps the biggest silver lining from 2020 is that we became stronger together as we worked to face a common adversity in COVID-19. The same can be said for sustainability. All of us need to work hand in hand to do our part. While the government will continue to drive national efforts to address climate change and waste reduction, every one of us, including businesses, organizations, individuals, can make a difference and lead by example. Today, we recognize 10 outstanding individuals who have demonstrated exemplary leadership and commitments towards environmental stewardship in Singapore. They come from diverse backgrounds, but share the common cause of creating sustained and positive environmental impacts within their communities. The first step towards a sustainable community is a shared sense of responsibility towards the environment. Mr. Heng Lee Singh founded a social enterprise, Green Nudge. Since 2018, he has partnered numerous companies and event organizers to devise creative ways to reduce, repurpose, or recycle waste. During COVID-19, Green Nudge partnered hotels to recycle minimally used soap bars while distributing new ones to migrant workers. Lee Singh's efforts have helped to build a community that collectively strengthens environmental resilience and promotes greener practices among businesses. We're also never too young to contribute to sustainability. 16-year-old Miss Laura Lee, whom we have saw earlier on from Nanyang Girls High School, kick-started and led Zero Waste Nanyang in 2018, the school's first ground-up environmental movement. Since then, she has rolled out Toilet Roll SG, no pun intended, a recycling initiative with an ambitious target of collecting 1,000 kilograms of toilet roll cores, or about 150,000 cores. I believe they are now very close to achieving their goal. I'm heartened by the drive of youth like Laura to spark change for a better world, and she has said in the video, believe in it and you can reach it. She has given second life to something as basic as a toilet roll core and transformed it into new products such as paper envelopes, thereby contributing towards a circular economy. The COVID-19 pandemic has posed immense challenges to many businesses. Yet, it has also brought to the fore the advantages of early adoption of innovation and technology in business strategies. Mr. Lucas Glanville, Director of Culinary Operations at Grand Hyatt, Singapore, exemplifies this through his leadership of Grand Hyatt's sustainability efforts. Beyond his role as Culinary Director, Lucas also spearheaded key initiatives in food waste management, sustainable food sourcing, and water efficiency. These initiatives have been instrumental in conserving the hotel's resources during tough times, so sustainability can result in cost savings and waste reduction. Earlier this year, I shared in Parliament that the government will be launching the Singapore Green Plan 2030 to spark a national movement on sustainability. Under the Green Plan, ambitious and concrete targets will be set to challenge ourselves to do even more. The Green Plan will be a living document which will evolve over time as circumstances change, new opportunities arise, and new ideas and initiatives present themselves. We want to work together with citizens, with everyone, with people like you who believe in this cause, to change the behavior of others who have yet to appreciate so. We also want to work together with businesses and communities to co-create solutions to tackle the effects of climate change and make Singapore sustainable for many more generations to come. Our sustainability goals are our collective responsibility. By harnessing the innovation, experience, and resources of our broader community, we can create and co-deliver solutions for a sustainable Singapore. And I've just listened to all the recipients earlier on, how they tell us about persevere, being innovative, being courageous. I think I'm just inspired and motivated to do even more. Let me conclude by congratulating our Ecofriends on their awards. They have demonstrated that individuals can create a positive change to the environment by inspiring and rallying those around them to play a part. Their stories have proven that anyone, regardless of age, gender, profession, can be an eco-friend. I hope that they and all of us here will spur more Singaporeans to take environmental action today. Let us all learn from them, learn from each other, and be inspired by what is possible. And as we have heard earlier on, nothing is impossible if we apply our minds to it. Congratulations once again, and I'm so happy to have all of you as our allies. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Minister, can I please invite you to remain on stage to present the Ecofriend Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, we honor the achievements of 10 award recipients from 5 different categories. As we recognize their contributions and environmental efforts, we hope that more individuals will be inspired to step forward and contribute to a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable Singapore. The first award category is the private sector category. Please join me to welcome Mr. Lucas Glanville, Director of Culinary Operations at Grand Hyatt Singapore. With over 35 years of experience in the culinary world, Lucas plays a significant role in leading Grand Hyatt Singapore's sustainability journey. Since 2010, he has spearheaded key initiatives in food waste management, sustainable food sourcing, and water efficiency. Our next category is the public sector category. Congratulations to Mr. Jeremy Kong, Program Chair of Work-Learn Programs at Republic Polytechnic. As the co-chairman of RP's Sustainability Committee, Jeremy is instrumental in driving RP's sustainability agenda, especially through pursuing innovative scientific solutions, and his ground-up approach has motivated many cohorts of students to do more for the environment. Next, we have the non-governmental organizations and grassroots volunteers category. I'm pleased to announce that there are 3 recipients for this category. Our first recipient, congratulations to Mr. Heng Lee Sing, founder and CEO of Green Nudge. Lee Sing founded Green Nudge, a small social enterprise that promotes sustainable business practices and green behavior. He's directly involved in conceptualization and implementation for all of Green Nudge's initiatives and has also been actively engaging youth in the sustainability landscape. Our next recipient in this category, congratulations to Mr. Dennis Chi, PBM District Councillor and Co-Chairman of Green Living Standing Committee, North West Community Development Council. Dennis is an instrumental figure in conducting and leading various green programs at Northwest CDC, such as the Sustainability Plan 2030, and reaching out to the community as District Councillor and co-chairman of the CDC's Green Living Standing Committee. Our final recipient for this category, congratulations to Mr. Tiu Chu Meng, PBM District Councillor and Chairman of the Environment Functional Committee, Southwest Community Development Council. Chu Meng started volunteering as a district councillor in Southwest District since May 2009 and is currently serving as chairman of the Southwest CDC's Environment Functional Committee, contributing to many impactful initiatives with his industry knowledge. Our fourth category is the Educational Institutions category. The recipient, congratulations to Mr. Benny Koh, teacher at Nanyang Girls High School. At Nanyang Girls, Benny serves as the driver for the school's Environmental Education Council Committee. He pushes initiatives aimed at creating a zero-waste school environment and spreading the message of sustainable living to students and the community. Our fifth and final category is the Youth and Students category. This year, we recognize 4 recipients in this category, a testament to increasing interest in youth on environmental sustainability. Our first recipient is Mr. Hao Jun Yao Jonathan, founder of Share Things. In 2018, Jonathan founded Share Things, a sharing platform with over 5,000 members, which aims to facilitate an easy and convenient way to promote the giving and sharing of pre-loved items between users and reducing waste in the process. Our second recipient, congratulations to Ms. Melissa Lo Yu Sing, Research Fellow in Energy Studies Institute at the National University of Singapore. Melissa developed and delivered the inaugural Climate Change Negotiations Training Workshop for Singapore Youth for Youth under the age of 35. Many completed the workshops with greater awareness and formed informed views about environmental policies. Our third recipient is Ms. Lee Ru Ye Laura, student at Hwa Chong Institution. At the age of 16, Laura led Zero Waste Nanyang in 2018 and the school's first grounds-up environment movement. From there, she moved on to start Toilet Roll SG, collecting more than 800 kilograms of toilet rolls for recycling to date. And last but not least, our final award recipient this evening, congratulations to Mr. Hemao Arora, student at UWC Southeast Asia. Hemao was only 14 when he took on team leadership for the Solar for East project, which aims to install 1,130 solar photovoltaic panels on the rooftop of UWC Southeast Asia campus. With that, ladies and gentlemen, can we give a big round of applause for all our award recipients, please? And can we invite Minister to the middle for a group photograph? Due to safe distancing measures, we will be taking photos in 2 groups of 8 on stage. I'd also like to invite Professor Liu Tan Wee Hin, Chairman of the 14th Ecofriend Awards Evaluation Panel, and Mr. Ng Chun Pin, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Planning, Corporate and Technology, National Environment Agency, to join Minister on stage for the group photograph, please. Can we first invite our first group of recipients on stage to join Minister for the group photograph, please? Please, thumbs up everyone. Congratulations, congratulations. Thank you. Can we invite now our second group of recipients on stage to join Minister Professor Liu and DCO for the group photograph, please. Everybody please look forward, smile. Just a bit of movement. All right, great. Everybody smile. All right, thumbs up everybody, thumbs up. Fantastic, thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And also a big thank you to Minister Professor Liu and DCEO. I'd like to invite you back to your seats. Thank you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to all our Ecofriend Award recipients. Truly an honor today. The efforts, ladies and gentlemen, have indeed made a significant impact on the community and the environment. Now, we hope that this recognition will encourage them to continue their good work and to inspire more people to embark on a clean and green journey. Today, we are pleased to have two of our award recipients here share their experiences with us. First, we have Mr. Hao Junyao Jonathan. He'll be sharing his use of technology to promote waste reduction through Share'Things. Let us welcome Jonathan, please.
Good afternoon, Minister Grace, guests of honor, distinguished guests, and live stream viewers. I'm very glad to be here today as one of the Ecofriend awardee 2020, and I'm so glad to see so many interesting initiatives that have sprung out in Singapore. And my name is Jonathan, and it is a real privilege to be one of the awardees this year. And I'm very excited to be standing here, sharing with you more about my project, Share'Things. So the main agendas of today's sharing is beyond just sharing my project. I hope that I can actually inspire people out there to kickstart their own project, and more importantly, to gain some inspiration from my story, because I feel that my journey has been really very interesting. And yeah, so this is me. I'm a final year student from NTU, reading business, majoring in marketing. And my passion lies in doing productive and meaningful things, and this includes researching on emerging technologies such as blockchain, artificial intelligence, joining competition, and more importantly, the concept of ideation, which is basically creating something out of nothing. So I believe that ideation and creating something out of nothing is a really very fulfilling process. And this is also a reason why I enjoy using technology to solve real-world problems or to close existing gaps using my own way, even though I'm not a computer science student or I don't have any technical background. So I'm also the founder of Share'Things, and before I introduce Share'Things proper, maybe let me just walk you through how Share'Things was conceived and how it came about. So let me just start off by sharing a bit more about my personal experience. In my growing up years, I actually grew up in a low-income family, and we didn't have much, but we were surviving, right? So I guess that's also a reason why we have this habit of reusing items that are passed down from our relatives, not to waste food, and the general idea is just to use what we have and don't waste anything. Right. So I guess during my polytechnic days, when I had the opportunity to volunteer at various NGO organizations such as Youth Corps or even Touch Home Care, I realized that there are a lot of people in Singapore, the less well-off people, they do not have much, right? Especially those living in rental flats. They do not have money to buy furniture, clothing, or even toys or books for their kids. So besides my personal experience, I also often find myself as someone who is very observant, or what they call kaypoh lah, because I like to observe my surrounding and see what's happening, right? So I guess that, during my National Service Day, I chanced upon a lot of waste in my neighborhoods, or even in my university days when I was staying in hall, I realized that students are throwing a lot whenever a semester ends. And I guess the personal experience coupled with my passion for problem solving was kind of a catalyst that kicked me into action, because I really wanted to do something about it. So to sum this up in a timeline, in 2018, when I was approaching the end of my national service, NSF, I actually started to observe my surroundings, whether in school, outside, and I realized that big organizations, they have a lot of waste, right? Food waste, general waste, you name it, they have it. So in 2019, when I was in first year in university, I realized that students also have a lot of waste. So this is also a tipping point where I realized that I wanted to really do more, and being a very ambitious and driven year one student, I started Share'Things, right? So how I started this was I created various online Telegram channels on Telegram, and I worked with various universities such as NUS, SMU, and SUTD to see whether there's any potential in creating such small community within IHLs itself, and encouraging students to actually reuse and share their items. So, to my surprise, the responses for Share'Things was pretty much well taken, and I was really very shocked that people use this on a day-to-day basis. Even on Telegram, every day there are at least around 50 to 60 people who list items on a day-to-day basis. So in late 2019 and early 2020, I realized that I can do more, which is why I applied for the various grants to develop this into a full-fledged mobile application. So here we are in 2020. I'm 2 months away from graduation, and the Share'Things mobile application is live since last year, September. And I'm really very happy that Share'Things has come so far, right? So now that you know how it all started, let me just run you through what exactly Share'Things is. So the QR code to download Share Things is on the screen. Chinese New Year is coming soon. I believe most of us are doing spring cleaning now, and it is a good way for us to actually share and give away items. So in essence, Share Things is about sharing things, and we are an online peer-to-peer platform that provides an avenue for people to give away items that they no longer want to people who need them. So individuals who are seeking to get rid of their unwanted items can share them conveniently through the Share Things mobile application at the tap of a button. And in essence, we want to be a platform where people can embrace a feel-good, sustainable, and no-string approach to decluttering and recycling. So the idea is straightforward. There are a few ways in which an individual can get rid of items in Singapore: to sell, to donate, or to throw. So in the case of donating and sharing, I think donation drive have been very successful over the past few years in terms of collecting items from the mass and re-channeling them to beneficiaries. So you can view Share Things as a digital version of a donation drive, but instead of a peer-to-organization structure, we are operating on a peer-to-peer sharing economy model where sharing activity take place through the means of internet. And in doing so, we are actually leveraging on technology to crowd pull all the unwanted items from anywhere in Singapore onto a single platform. And this not only will involve more individuals, but we can also collectively have more items or assortment for people to give and take. So many of us have this concept of perception, right? We perceive things differently. And in Share Things, using a digital platform, we can help to change or even shape the perception of an individual and encourage them to rescue all these pre-loved items. So let me just give you an example of something that I chanced upon in my neighborhood. So the picture on the left is a used wheelchair that I chanced upon 2 weeks ago, where someone actually threw it downstairs at my HDB block. So many of us will see this as something as dirty, faulty, or even trash, right? And this is especially so when all these items are discarded near rubbish chute, where people usually associate them to rubbish. So comparing this to a listing on Share Things, people may perceive it differently and see this as a treasure. And people who need it may see something as valuable, right? So that is something that Share Things is trying to change. We aspire to be the platform that turns trash into treasure. So moving on to our objective, I think we have a few objectives in mind. Firstly, we want to make it accessible and convenient for people to share anytime, anywhere, 24/7 at the convenience of their fingertip. Next, we also want to reduce the amount of good-to-use items in landfill by encouraging people to embrace a sustainable and no-string approach to decluttering. Moving on, we also want to help people, especially the less well-off families, to get items for free. And last but not least, I hope that I can cultivate this sharing culture. And I believe that the power of pooling and how we can use technology to create a sharing economy by crowd pooling everything into one single platform can allow people to actually unlock a lot of value. And that is something that we really want to achieve, to encourage people to step forward to share and therefore to create a sharing economy. So now let me just share a few highlights of Share Things that we have achieved over the past 2.5 years. So besides our online presence, we believe that it is important to have some sort of physical presence, which is why we partner with Choa Chu Kang Zone 6 RC last year, before Chinese Year, before the COVID pandemic, to organize this Share More Waste Less event last year. So in just 4 hours, we witnessed over 400 residents who came down with tons of items that they do not want to share with their residents. So another highlight would be the media exposure, and to be honest, I'm a very shy guy. In fact, coming out here to share is something I'm really very, very nervous. So I think this is really a very good opportunity for me to get the word out, to promote Share Things, and more importantly, to get people to know what Share Things do. So the next milestone would be the launch of Share Things mobile application. I would say that this is the biggest milestone for me, and I have never imagined that I would have the opportunity to create an app all by myself, and of course with the help of some organizations. But I think the 4 key differentiations between this application and our Telegram channel would be, number 1, we integrated a reward and leaderboard system, which is something that I want to integrate into the application as part of the motivation mechanism to attract and retain users. Next, we also have a community moderation feature, which allows so basically there's this algorithm that will take down any listing where people try to advertise, try to sell things, or try to be funny in essence. And next, I think one of the more important things is that we can collect a lot of meaningful data, right? By having an app, we can see how people are sharing, what are their behaviors, what items of categories are they sharing, and what are the common items that people are usually sharing. And from there on, we can actually formulate good strategies for us to actually attract more users moving forward. So I think the next milestone So far, over the past 2.5 years, we have attracted over 6,000 users on both our Telegram as well as our mobile application. And collectively, all these users have shared over 67,000 items, of which the take-up rate is around 60 to 70%. And of course, above sharing, I think one of the more notable highlights that warms my heart was that I realized how a simple act of sharing can mean so much to others. And this is one example of a real-life situation that sprung out of share things. So I know it's a bit wordy, so let me just summarize this for you. So there's this giver, I will just call it Giver A. She listed some books and toys on share things. Then this receiver B contacted Giver A to collect the items. So the receiver B traveled all the way from Choa Chu Kang West all the way to East Hougang. And receiver B shared with Giver A her background, her family situation, and how she couldn't afford to buy things for her 9-year-old daughter. Then receiver B, receiver B did what she could to pick up things that people no longer want and give it to her 9-year-old daughter. And the reason why she traveled all the way down from Choa Chu Kang to Hougang was that her 9-year-old daughter's birthday is actually the next week, and she wanted to get something, the books and toys for her daughter as a birthday present. So although this may seem as a simple act of sharing, but the impact may be small in relative terms for most of us, I believe that it may mean the world to someone else. And beyond just taking and sharing, giving, we can also see how noble a mother's love is. So now that you have an idea of who I am, what is Share Things, let me just quickly share with everyone some of our plans moving forward. So firstly, I want to build an ecosystem where useful items are being shared and not thrown away. And this would mean that beyond the individual level, we hope that corporates with a high level of unwanted yet usable items like defective goods or defective products will explore using Share Things as a downstream channel to get rid of their items. Secondly, as a data-driven individual, I believe that data is king and we can unlock a lot of value or insights from big data assets. So moving forward, I will be actually attracting reports from the back end and to analyze the trends or even to identify opportunities to better engage with our community. Thirdly, I also want to expand the team. I started this by myself and it is really very tiring at times, but I know that the impact is good and I press on. And I believe that together we can do so much more. Although I have a few ad hoc friends or volunteers that come on and off to help me, I feel that it is important to engage more volunteers out there to get some fresh perspective, especially on the technological front. And last but not least, I want to make this a sustainable model in the way that we can actually retain our value proposition and to add valuable features into the application in the future. I also want to take this opportunity to thank NEA as well as Software CDC for co-funding this project. Without them, I don't think I would be here today. And a big thank you to all the volunteers, especially from Software and NEA, for believing in me and accepting the grant. So moving on, wrapping up, I think one of the 3 key main lessons that I've learned from this project are, number 1, to be curious. Be curious meaning to say I observe my surroundings, find problems and challenge the status quo. Number 2, to be uncomfortable. Always keep your mind open and adapt to changes. Do one thing that scares you, because those small things that makes us uncomfortable will help us to build our courage to do the work that we do. And I believe that the only time that we are growing is when we are feeling uncomfortable, like I am today, right? So last but not least, I think what is also important is not to give up easily. I started this project by myself. There were a lot of rejections along the way, but I know that the community, especially the low-income families, can benefit from this, which is why I stood my ground. And I always believe that if it's worth doing it, it will be hard. And if it's not hard, it will probably not worth doing. So yeah, don't give up. And maybe to conclude, I will just end off with this quote that resonates well with me. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much more. Without the community on Share Things, without them sharing items, without the support I have received, I wouldn't be standing here today. And I believe that as long as we as individuals play our part by being environmentally conscious, we can collectively play a significant role in keeping Singapore cleaner and greener in our very own ways. So with that, I come to the end of my sharing. I will just leave my contact here. If any of you want to contact me, you can feel free to approach me, and I'll be happy to talk to you more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give Jonathan a big round of applause. Thank you very much for the wonderful sharing. It's amazing that how Jonathan started Share Things without any prior background in technology. Truly, truly inspiring. Our next speaker is award winner Mr. Jeremy Kong. He has a pet project working with something very unusual, black soldier flies. Please join me to welcome Jeremy, please.
Ms. Grace Fu, Guest of Honor, Minister for Sustainability and Environment, Prof. Liu Tan, Mr. Ng Chung Ping, Mr. Khoo Siu Po, Ms. Isabella Loh, my fellow Eco Award recipients, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. I'm very honored to receive this Ecofriend Award and also to have this opportunity up on stage to share my eco journey over the past few years. I'm very appreciative for NEA for organizing such an event to celebrate eco champions among Singaporeans. Such movements are important. Given the serious impacts of climate change, it is essential everyone to need to take action now. We have also witnessed how COVID-19 pandemic put a halt to almost all economic activities around the world, giving Mother Earth a chance to heal. And just like Minister has mentioned, we start to see blue skies, wonderful lush greenery around us. This once again reaffirmed that our human activities directly impact on climate change. What is my motivation? Very often, environmentalists are driven by passion. These are four very passionate individuals whom I grew up with, people like Sir David Attenborough, Dr. Jane Goodall, Paul Watson and his Greenpeace movement, and not forgetting the latest sensation, Greta Thunberg. These are people who I think if you were to cut them, they probably have green colored blood flowing out from their veins. Well, for me, it's very different. I'm a biotechnologist by training. So working with analytical instruments and genetics was what I was trained for. Many friends and even my colleagues always do wonder, how do I get into this space of environmental conservation, waste management, agriculture, and even black soldier flies? How did I even get to this space? Personally, I have not even given much thought until I'm told to ask to give this particular sharing. I did a self-reflection. I can attribute to 4 P's. Okay, place, people, purpose, and also passion. Place. I started teaching at Republic Polytechnic in 2006. I remember I started work on 6 March 2006. My very first day at work is also the very first day the whole RP campus moved over from Tanglin campus. All the staff and students moved over after awaiting the construction for almost 2 years. And this is what you see as Republic Polytechnic in 2006. So I'm always very proud when I go out to meet industry partners. I will say Republic Polytechnic from day one was built as a green campus, with next to a park, integrated with a park, with large amount of green landscaping and green roof all over the campus. Not to mention all the eco features that is listed over here that belongs to all the infrastructure and buildings. Next, people. Lei Peng, who is over here with me today, he was my first reporting officer. She is a plant scientist by training, a very passionate environmentalist. She was also the pioneer and brain behind many eco activities back at Republic Polytechnic. She started an interest group, conservation interest group, even built the first greenhouse at Republic Polytechnic. And as a good reportee, I will try to help to do some of the work that she does. But I must say, Lei Peng has never ever forced me to do her work. Okay, she just leave the door open for me to help her. You will often see Lei Peng around the campus with her own mug, utensils, and also eco bag. She also refused to use disposable during lunch, and also during some of the training buffets. She welcomed me to do some of the work in her plants projects, in which often she do the growing of plants, whereas I do the back-end laboratory analysis. And this is how I got started. And over time, I accumulate a number of environmental projects. And one particular environmental project will be the black soldier fly, which by this year actually is 10 years of this particular project that I've been invested into. Okay. Back in 2011, industry partner came to me and asked and state the problem statement that they have a problem. They wanted to use black soldier fly for food waste management. But back then, AVA and MPARTS had highlighted one concern because they are not sure whether black soldier fly is an indigenous species. So if they were to bring this black soldier fly from US, will it affect the local ecology? Will it disrupt the biodiversity over here in Singapore? So for me, to solve this problem, we simply propose a very simple solution and say, why not we try to trap this particular black soldier fly back at our backyard at Republic Polytechnic. So we got a few students, put some food waste, and over a period of 2 to 3 weeks, we trapped number of flies. Among them, of course, there are black soldier flies. There's also yellow species. So there are many types of black soldier flies over here in Singapore. And that was the first obstacle for this black soldier fly project that we overcome. We proved that black soldier fly is an indigenous species. We don't have to worry about disrupting the ecology here. And that also sprout a number of small companies doing black soldier fly project, Insecta, Protenga, even Prof. Mayer at NUS. Okay. The next hurdle or obstacle we faced was actually if we were to put this black soldier fly into the food chain, would there be any toxicity that's passed along from the food waste? Okay. So that was the next problem statement. And to work around this problem statement, where we are right now is with Mandai Zoo. Okay. In Mandai Zoo, we are able to achieve a closed-loop system, mainly because we don't eat, we don't consume the zoo animals. Okay. So it's a closed-loop system, and it's something that the new development and the Mandai Zoo, they are also aiming for, a closed-loop system and also sustainable circular economy. Okay. So right now, that's where we are for the Black Soldier Fly project. And over time, it's also because of all this accumulation of environmental projects, I'm also given an opportunity and appointment as a program chair for this diploma in environmental science. And with the appointment, you also give me a stronger sense of purpose to fund environmental initiative back at Republic Polytechnic. This sense of purpose deepens into passion when I start to mount even more programs for environmental services and management. When I delve into this area of environmental services, I start engaging the lives of all these cleaners and frontline workers that we have. Okay, and that's I really admire all these unsung heroes among our society. And even during this COVID pandemic, times so bad, they are the ones up in our front line doing the work, keeping us safe. Okay, along with the healthcare workers, of course. To help our frontline workers, a year ago, what we did at Republic Polytechnic also was to quickly help to ramp up this training in terms of donning PPE, doing disinfection, while the imported cases start to mount back in February. So we launched the training course in February and quickly helped to equip all these trainers with this skill competency. Okay. We also work with EMAS, ROMRAS, SPMA, BATU, and also NEA to also start the chain of appreciation event whereby companies, business owners will appreciate their frontline workers at their facility for the long hours that they have to spend keeping our environmental clean. Okay, this is a very simple and humble way for us to give thanks to the work that they do to keep us safe. So my environmental journey, these are some of the things that I got a chance to create over at Republic Polytechnic. Facility like aquaculture facility, rain garden, and also the indoor agriculture facility. Okay, so all this helps to answer some of these sustainability issues Singapore is facing, and also food sustainability. We also see more proactiveness among the student council and also the conservation interest group. Okay, I must say, whatever we do at the Republic Polytechnic, there's a multiplier effect also. While we do it upfront as a form of operations, it can also be part of research and also part of going into the curriculum. Okay, in the incubate programs that we work with NEA, we also adopt technologies at RP. Okay, as we adopt technologies at RP, we help our estate office to create these technologies, at the same time becomes useful
learning tools for our students. Okay, so practically turning RP into a learning laboratory where environmental technologies can be adopted throughout the campus. Here I just show some of the things that we would like to achieve over the next 3 to 5 years over at Republic Polytechnic through the sustainable community. Okay, working closely with the estate office, working with different technology centers over at Republic Polytechnic also. Okay, hopefully we can achieve this reduction in carbon footprint also over the next 3 to 5 years. Okay, so over at Republic Polytechnic, we take a very ground-up approach. Okay, engaging our staff, engaging our students, engaging all also stakeholders when we talk about the community that's around Republic Polytechnic. Okay, in closing, I would like to leave you with this phrase that really resonates with me. It's also something that I always share with friends and also students. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. Personally, I also find it very similar to this phrase that I always tell my soldiers when I do my reservice. Okay, and it's something that always motivates my soldiers also. So it really doesn't matter whether you're holding a rifle to protect or even growing a tree. End of the day, what we are trying to do is really to pass on something that is in a better state to the later generation. Okay, with that, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeremy, for the wonderful sharing. So, ladies and gentlemen, our two eco-friends have shown us that regardless of where we come from, we can all do our part for the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, we've now come to the end of the 14th Ecofriend Awards presentation ceremony. Please join me to say a big thank you to Minister Grace Fu for gracing our event today. Thank you, Minister. And to all our friends here, I hope all of you are inspired by our 10 award recipients today, that we can all do our part for the environment. So on the screen right behind me, a QR code will come up if you want to find out more information about our recipients, and hopefully you can feel inspired to do more for the environment. Please kindly scan the QR code right behind me. And to our friends watching on Facebook Live as well, we have a link for you that will be dropped right about now and the comment section below. Hopefully it can inspire all of you as well to do your part for the environment. My name is Lester Liu. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting this wonderful event. And hopefully till the next time we see each other, please in the meantime stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, but most importantly, no matter how small, let's all continue to do our part to keep Singapore clean, green and sustainable. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.